my mom might kill me. But back in the dinosaur ages, my mother and father were involved in property management. My mom, right here, worked for Darkwort for about 25 years. Fun stuff. But look at my dad, that 80s stash, real nice. But he did maintenance, did some crazy stuff. Growing up, not a lot of time spent, hard worker, all that good stuff. But how we connected was always doing odd-end jobs, ripping up floors, HVAC units, and my mom might not know this, but I fell through an attic once on a job. She didn't know that. I landed in a kitchen. Real estate was not always something I thought about in the grand scheme of things. I wanted to become a doctor, went to school, got to school by being recruited, played soccer for 16 years, ended up playing for 2 years. Med school, pre-med, just kicked my butt, retired after 2 years, hung up the cleats. But at the end of the day, it all led me here. So senior year came around, and at the end of the day, it's COVID hit, changed my whole trajectory, and now I'm here. Now, it's been a privilege knowing all of y'all, getting to know y'all, so I enjoyed it. So the news I got tonight, and after talking with Charles a little bit, who in here is involved in Blue Tahoe? Well, congrats on your first distribution. Okay, I know you're excited. Got some good news that no one knows yet. We have Brockway under contract and should be sold and closed on the 24th of this month. So, congrats to y'all guys. So,
I love it. He's so nervous. Little trial by fire. Hey, you get up there and do an intro.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. Thank you, Garrett. And he didn't really talk as much as he didn't talk about himself as much, but he has been doing great with everybody. I love it. He said, "Oh, I'm going to reach out to them. I talk to them." So I love that he's talking to you. If you haven't heard from him, call him and bug him, because he's the one supposed to be establishing relationships with everybody, and that would be his position. I will start off real quick by saying I am freaking exhausted. All weekend was 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. in education on growing businesses, things like that. So that was all freaking weekend on that. Then all day yesterday, we were filming for different advertising that's going toward the NFL players side of it, doing advertising for things that are going to be on the radio and on TV and different things like that through a marketing company with Ben. And so all day yesterday and then all day today. And if anybody's done any of that, I haven't, but it's okay. We've got the guy that cracked the whip, David, back there. Okay, more energy, smile, do this. So read the same damn thing 17 times. We're talking about this one subject. Okay, we did that, great. You did a great job. Now do it again. Oh, it's a great job. Say exactly the same thing again. So it just sucked. But so it was nice. We even had hair and makeup people here. So I'm getting primped on and, trying to make me look pretty, which is a big job. But basically exhausted. Hey. But the other thing I want to tell you is we have got a major year coming up this year. You all know there's blood in the water. You've heard me talk about that. And there's a lot of opportunities out there. And they're coming, and they're going to be coming a lot faster. Just to give you an idea. One of the guys I met with this weekend is with a private equity firm. Hey, how you doing? And we talked about setting up a rescue fund for some of the sponsors that are going to be in trouble. One sponsor I was talking to, if you invested $100,000 last year, you have to put in $25,000 this year as a cash call. And that is only for rate cap insurance, so a complete sunk cost. So if you invested $100,000 and they said, hey, if you want to maintain your position, you got to put another $25,000 in there. And you say, well, what's that for? Are we going to add additional value because of that? And no, you're not. You're going to pay for an insurance policy. Okay, and there's a lot of that going on. There's a lot of properties that are underwater. There's, you've heard me talk about the mark. I'll tell you more about that later. But there's a lot of opportunities coming. So we talked to the private equity firm regarding setting up a rescue fund to do that. The information I received this weekend has motivated me to an extreme level of what we can do together and how we can grow this bigger, stronger, faster for everybody's benefit. So there is some very, very big things coming that I can't share all of those, but I will share this part of it. Oh, and also on that same vein, I think that the management company is going to be expanding quite a bit with everything we're going to be doing. So investor relations is moving out of the back office to the front office up here, and it's being redecorated. And that's going to be, this is our working office. So you go back there, literally on my office, my plaque, I've got the worst office in here, and the plaque on my door says storage. Okay, so that's my office there. So we're going to do some nice offices that can really make investors feel, hey, that this is solid. They're not wasting money, but it's nice and professional, et cetera. Take the bars off the window. Well, I can't, then you'll leave. You need to be working here. So we're setting up a board of directors. Okay, and this board of directors, help guide and direct and give us a lot of direction from different aspects of the company. And so the first person that I'm bringing on here, this is a guy that I went and heard speak this weekend. Okay, Adam Coffey wrote this book, The Private Equity Playbook. He's had $2 billion exits by building up his companies. He's got another one that's coming that's over $3 billion. He's taken numerous companies. And it's a brilliant strategy. He takes a company that's small, grows them medium, brings in private equity, which allows the owners to cash out some, then takes it bigger, cash out again, and takes it bigger and cash out again. But Adam Coffey is now part of our board of directors to help guide that. Thank you. That one is huge, huge. This guy has me thinking very, very large, and there's some very fun things you'll learn about in the future. But this guy is brilliant. He's made so much money. He was actually offered, I think it was $75 million, was it $75 million? To go to work for a big private equity firm. And he's like, that's no fun. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to work on deals that are fun. And because he's made enough money. He lives in Vaquero. Anybody know where Vaquero is? Yeah, big time, big time. And a good guy, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. I highly recommend getting the book, The Private Equity Playbook. And it's very motivating and a lot of meat in there. Next person that I'm adding onto this, and just because he is a big name, a bit divisive, I'll throw that out as the next one's a bit divisive. He was described as the ShamWow guy, but I will say he is brilliant. And you may not think that at the beginning, but also JT Fox. So you guys, some of you have seen him, but he's also on the board. But he has reach all over the country, all over the world, and thinks big and thinks about 12 steps ahead. Brilliant guy as well. So he's on the board. Next one. Charlie, come on up.
Hey, Charlie.
Hey, microphone. You guys have met Charlie, and Charlie is on the board as well, and he is brilliant on the tech. Anybody talked to Charlie so far? Okay, I know that one client, one of our partners, he freed up $2 million that was tied up in an account that freed up to go ahead and invest. To sit down with Charlie when he's outside of this room is $10,000 just to sit down with him. Okay, and he's part of our team as a brilliant tax strategist And why don't you tell a little bit about yourself there, Troy?
Yeah, for those of you who I have not met, it's great to be here. My background is in accounting. I've been a practicing CPA for about 30 years. Started my career back in the 80s in Ernst & Young and worked pretty much in public accounting for most of my life. And about 20 years ago, I chose the entrepreneurship path and took a leap of faith and formed my own CPA firm. And I really formed my firm on the simple value proposition that I'm going to do for my clients what most CPAs don't. I'd always been trained as a tax planner, and I formed my firm really for the sole purpose of helping clients recover dollars they unnecessarily pay in the form of state and federal income taxes, and built a very successful CPA firm simply helping people save money. And Darwin's been a client, got massive results for him. Phil, we've done some great things together. Pretty much anyone that I touch, I find ways to create savings. About 8 years ago, I watched both of my parents pass away within 6 months of one another because of early elder care issues, not really have the opportunity to fully enjoy the wealth they created, and use that as a catalyst to kind of re-engineer my life from a health, wellness, nutrition, and sort of the work-life balance, and ended up giving away 30% of my firm to probably the best technical accountant, and used the time that I freed up to really pivot the way I help my clients, not only to be able to help them from a tax mitigation perspective, but really to help my clients deploy capital out of market-based investments into two other asset classes, real estate and alternatives. And just being the guy that counts people's wealth, and what I had observed is that as my clients got more successful, the less of their money they had in market-based investments, and found that I could really help accelerate the way my clients grow their wealth by focusing on the 80% that matters, which is how much do I pay in taxes and how well my investments perform. And I came here to be part of Darwin's organization because of the relationship I've had just helping him from a tax planning perspective, but really because of the strength of the investments and the belief that what we do here allows us to collectively grow our wealth in ways that we couldn't on our own. And I'm excited about the future. I'm excited about having been on board. There's a lot that's going to happen this year. It's going to be an exciting year. We're going to get the opportunity to participate in amazing opportunities. And this Mark opportunity that is coming out, that is one of those situations where there's blood in the water. And we're kind of getting into that environment where we're going to see a lot of opportunities on discounted valuations, and it should just be a tremendous year. I'm just happy to be here, looking forward to adding value to the team and to your lives as well.
And just to expand on that, like I said, it's $10,000 usually to sit down with him just for that. He's going to put on a 3-hour tax strategy session here for our group for $1,000. And then if you want to retain him on something like that, that'll apply toward it. But when are you going to do that?
I think we're going to do it the first weekend in March. We talked about doing it in a couple of weeks, but we just kind of got all of the marketing stuff together. But I'm going to come here for a full day and really help people understand completely everything that they can do from a legal and a tax perspective to save money. I'm going to go through all of the strategies that I've used for a career of work and teach you how to apply those methodologies to your life. We'll have the opportunity to see case studies. I'm going to talk about kind of what the latest issues are from a regulatory perspective. We've got 87,000 IRS agents that are being hired. If you Google IRS agents and look at the service centers throughout America, they are on a massive hiring spree. During the COVID crisis, we didn't really have any audits whatsoever, but both the collection division of the IRS and the enforcement division is hard at work building the workforce, training the workforce, and I would say, tell people this, probably a third of the room in here is ultimately over the next 7 years going to have their tax returns examined. It's going to be a very different environment that we've ever experienced in the history of our country from an enforcement perspective. And I had the pleasure of practicing with a former group manager from the IRS, a guy named Keith Craig, and his wife happens today to still be a district director. So I know what the red flags are. I know what the scoring is on the tax returns. And a lot of what we do now is going to be focused not only on tax mitigation and tax savings, but how can we audit-proof our tax returns? And there's about 10 things that you can do very quickly and very easily that allow you to fly under the radar of the IRS. So I'm going to spend a few hours kind of walking through the things that you need to look at and the things that you need to consider as the IRS rebuilds its workforce and looks to collect more revenues by scouring our 1040s over the next 7 years.
What did you say each IRS agent, for every $100 they spend on that, they get how much return back?
So we would all invest in the IRS if we could get a rate of return, because every dollar they invest in enforcement, they get $5 back, right? And so the Biden administration tried unsuccessfully on 3 occasions to change the code to make what I would consider tax changes that we haven't seen in generations that would have affected everyone in this room. But because of Senator Manchin and the Arizona senator, they were unable to get a majority and pass that legislation. We're going to see more legislation that attempts to increase revenues, but because they were unsuccessful and because they're on a massive spending spree and they have all this debt to pay for and all the COVID handouts, the PPP loans, they've got to increase revenues. And so the quickest way to increase revenues from a Treasury perspective without changing the Internal Revenue Code is to make a massive investment in the IRS. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're going to achieve the same result of making major tax changes that affect mid to upper middle Americans by simply scouring the 1040. So that's what's coming.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you being on the team and being part of the board of directors, and looking forward to that. All right, next up, Ben Garland. For those of you who were here last month, this is Ben Garland. I'll let him talk about what he does.
Appreciate you having me. Really excited to be on the board of directors. What a great opportunity. I came and found Darwin initially just looking for a good investment. And one of the aspects I was looking for is, there's a lot of syndications out there. There's a lot of guys that do funds. And I found in Darwin just transparency. I could trust him. He was going to go out of his way to protect my capital, even if that meant losing some of his own. And that meant a lot to me. He just seemed like a great way for me to get into this aspect. But I've spent my entire life in team environments. I joined the Air Force because I love that element of being a part of something greater than yourselves, pushing yourself beyond anything you've ever done to be a part of something big. Same with the NFL. You can't find that type of people and that team. And those of you who've been a part of some great team or been a part of something like that, you know it's something you can't find outside of that. Anytime you go through something difficult with someone like that, you bond in ways that a lot of people can't understand. And in that sense, as I continue to grow along my journey and my financial journey as well, I'm learning a lot. And I want to take those guys along with me. So it's very important to me to build the financial literacy of some of these guys I've played with. I remember being in 2015 and a Forbes article came out that within 3 years, 80% of the NFL go bankrupt. And that's unacceptable. If you want to bleed, fight, and work with these people that you're bonding with, you want to see their hard work go to something. It hurts every morning I get up because of what I went through in the league. Now I'm going to take those funds and I want to live a lifestyle that's worth it. And I believe in real estate. So I wanted to find a good real estate venture to be a part of. And I believe I found that within Darwin. So I want to start bringing in my friends. I want to start introducing them and allowing them to build their wealth through what I believe is the best current investment vehicle based on the income you get, the depreciation, the equity, the appreciation, and the ability to use liquidity and leverage those assets to grow even further. So my goal is to start bringing in a lot of these players. And within that, bring them alongside of you. You can see the type of team that Darwin is building with the best of the best. And that's what I want to be a part of. And with that, I want to bring some of my old teammates and some of the guys that are currently playing along with this ride with us. And with that, you'll see as our money grows and as we continue to grow together, so will your money. It's going to give us new opportunities. It's going to give us more assets. And like you said, there's going to be a lot of blood in the water coming up this next year, which I believe in. But if we have a lot more funds to go into more deals, that's more opportunities for all of us, more assets that we can take advantage of. So we're going to start building events. And it's one of those things where I believe in, let's make money, and let's make money with those that we love. And if I work with you, I want you to be family. So I'm going to bring in my family. We're going to do special events, stuff that's going to blow your socks off. And we're going to have a great time doing it. And at the same time, we're going to unveil some of these opportunities and be along. So
Him and his team, they're putting together a special event with football players, baseball players, and musicians, some A-listers, some B-listers, and we're putting together an event that they're going to come out to Dallas, golf, NASCAR, their wives doing a fancy spa day, a real nice dinner, maybe some free boots and hats, cowboy hats just for those that, give them the cowboy look. But we're doing this event And we were going to do it on what day?
We're at the beginning of March.
Yeah, March 1st or 2nd. And we're bringing them in, and there's going to be between 10 and 25 of these celebrity athletes, musicians, etc.
Our partners and those that we've worked with have put on amazing events that have absolutely blown people away for years. They're the best and the best in the business, and I am proud that they chose me as their teammate to partner with, because I do not fully understand or capable of doing the events that they do, but absolutely unbelievable the work they've done, and this event will be, what did you say?
Where? We're gonna be doing it here in DFW, but I think there's a strong possibility that Michael Irvin might be one of them, for those of you who like the Cowboys. As a matter of fact, if somebody can get the stuff that's out there too. And we're hoping for that. That's one of the A players, obviously. But something he was saying is that they do NFL events. They do NBA events. They do music events. But what the players, one of the hooks to get them here for this is they usually don't do things together. So they don't have an opportunity to mix and mingle with each other, and they like doing that. One of the things we're trying to do is, which I don't think we can get now, but one of them was also a suite at the Mavericks game with, and seeing if Mark Cuban, because they're a bunch of athletes, come make an appearance and doing that. So we're doing that. So we don't know who's going to show up, and right now they're booking it, so we can't give any details on anything. And we're talking about March 1st or 2nd, but it's his company and his partners that do these all the time and put on complete badass events. One of them, they had Lady A come in for it, and they wrote a special song just for them, a little private event. So we're going to have, between 10 and 25 of these celebrities and their wives. Their wives are invited also. That's got to be smart. They've been playing all year, so get them out here where they can do something to go to the spa day or go do NASCAR. NASCAR is one of the other events. We're looking at different restaurants, things like that. But here's the opportunity for you, is we want to go ahead and allow some people in here to come to that event. Now, it's something we're going to have to charge for coming alongside. What we're going to do is offer that up. Is anybody interested in going to that? So what we're going to do is we'll put a price on it. We'll announce that and let us know if you're interested. But I'm going to, and this is being recorded, so I want to make damn sure everybody knows, Julian especially, because he communicates this stuff, is whatever we charge, I'm going to give that equivalent value in B class shares, not A class, B class. And B class shares are what we get as a sponsor. We'll give you more details, but definitely reach out to Julian or Garrett and let us know if you're interested in that. It will be a great event no matter what, but that'll be a lot of fun. And now Ben being on the board, he'll hopefully have some more of his friends and fellow players investing, and his marketing company has done this for, how long have they been doing these events?
They've been doing it before I was born. So they've been absolutely crushing it. My team's been a part of DraftKings, NBA, MTV, CBS. David in the back.
Yeah, David, stand up back there.
You're talking the CMO of Foot Locker. He helped invent the first REIT with Taubman. He's been the CMO of them when they first started. Absolutely crushing it. So we've worked with the best of the best in the business, from everything from real estate to MTV, Madison Square Gardens. My team has done it all and done it at the top level. And I guarantee you, if you come to this event, you're going to have a good time. And the fact that he's making an investment anyways, sold. It sounds like the best win-win scenario to me. But
and I don't know if you heard that part of it. He was the CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, for the first REIT. Everybody knows what a REIT is, publicly traded real estate investment trust. So that's one of the things that I liked about him coordinating the marketing for us. So while we may be real down here in the overall scheme of things, the REITs are up here. That goes right in line with some of our overall strategies, and that's a little bit of a hint of what's to come. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. No problem. Okay. Also on the board. We're looking for 1 or 2 partners who want to be on the board with all of us. Okay, and what that means is you sit in on the board meetings, which there's mainly 2 big ones a year, but then periodically throughout the year. But I need the advice of the investor level. So that's what I'm looking for, is a couple of people. So if you want to apply to be on that, and online as well, I don't know which camera's recording right now, but so I can't speak at it. How come we don't have one of those lights that says which one you're on? I guess we're not fancy enough. But bottom line is, we're looking. I know, but I don't know which one he's recording from right now. The middle one, that one. Okay, thank you. So even if you're online and you're interested, we are looking for a couple of board members that want to be on that board, along with Charlie and Ben and Adam and JT and myself, and whoever else may be coming on board that we want to use. And if you notice, there's diversity in all that. It's not apartment people, it's not real estate people, it's business people. And so we need the voice of our partners as well. So is anybody interested in that? All right, cool, thank you. So just send something over to Julian and Garrett. By the way, the fun thing is, because I get to come up here and say whatever I want, they had no idea I was going to say that. Okay. Iron Ranch. Who's in Iron Ranch right now? Okay. Where we are on that one is we have done our updated drawings. We take those drawings and then we have construction bids done, and they're preliminary bids, because they look at that. We looked at concrete tilt-up, pre-engineered metal buildings, frame buildings, etc. And we send that out to bid, and they go through all the numbers and they come up with their prices. And they basically say, well, if you do it this way, it's this price, this way, it's this price. So we said, okay, let's narrow it down to this one. Okay, who's done construction in here? Development? Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. And I might screw it up, so we've got partners that are doing the building part. So they did that part of it. Now we're going back and doing the value engineering side, now that we know what it is. And our price came in too high. Our construction budget was $20 million. Right now it's $22,900,000. So we've got to shave off $2.9 million, a little over 10%. Okay, is that reasonable in construction to shave off?
In this market with prices doing?
In this market, absolutely. So, but it's also design changes. For example, these windows up here, the way that they're designed, we can save a whole lot of money by changing the design of those. So we're going through all the value engineering, getting all that as a tightened down budget so we can move ahead with that. And then we're going to go get our debt. And that's when we will be going in and raising the rest of the money for the transaction. And this is an unbelievably stupid deal for me, because we offered a 25% per year preferred return. Okay? That means you get 25% per year before anybody else gets anything. Okay? Stupid. Stupid on our side. That won't happen again. But because this is the first one, again, this is our first one. We've got a partner that did Garages of Texas and Urban Garages, if you've seen those. These are a similar design, and he was the contractor and consultant on that. So he knows what he's doing. So again, we hire the best, partner with whoever we can that is really good at whatever they're doing. Another partner is David Tuttle. You might have met him in the past. And he's a commercial real estate guy. He's doing land acquisition, et cetera. And we're branding this. We're doing this one first in Fate. And we've already talked about land in Melissa. Had a meeting with the city of Waxahachie, who will basically almost give us land to go ahead and build on, and other parts of the Metroplex. I actually got to go meet Ross Perot and talk to him, and of course, after meeting with him, he pawned me off to somebody that's doing some other land near Alliance about maybe doing something on his land there too. So this is going to be a fun project. We're looking at the end of March really for a groundbreaking. Okay. The Market Weatherford. Okay, who's already committed in that one? Okay, the rest of you, you need to be in that one. And I'm going to tell you why. This property is really unbelievable, okay? It has more thought in it than any property I've ever seen. Okay? And I'm going to tell you about some of those items. I'm going to preface this with something my wife says. There will be some design, some road that does something stupid, or some other design of something really stupid. And of course, my wife, oh, a man must have designed that. Okay. And you know that for a fact. Yeah, I know. You'll see it tomorrow. And this one was designed by a mother and her 2 sons. And they build long term. And so here's some of the little design features. Okay. First off, they're 10-foot ceilings, 8-foot front doors. The back door, normally where there's a back door and it's solid above, they put windows over that. So when you're in the living room, it's all windows. And they're 10-foot ceilings. All of the cabinets are all hardwood, and they all have adjustable shelves. This is designed like your house, okay? Stainless steel appliances, which that's normal. The flooring is the same thing we put in ours, but they've got a built-in desk. A thought that nobody puts in there is drill a hole in there for your cords to go down. Well, that costs extra in each one of those units, and a lot of contractors don't even do that, so you have cords draped over it. So they actually have holes there. It's not a big deal, but a very small design feature. In the kitchen, code is like 2 or 3 plugs. They've got 5 plugs because they know, hey, you're going to use a lot of things. The center island has 2 plugs on it. A lot of center islands don't have any. The cabinets, like I said, have all adjustable shelves in them. Their pool is open year-round. They've got water loungers in the pool that you can actually move and to face the sun. The pool has mood lighting, like you add to your pool if you're building a pool at your house, that's adjustable outside by the residents. So somebody can go out there and switch it on to whatever color, for whatever light they want, whatever mood lighting they want. They've got 5 waterfalls that come out of there that give nice water sound to the whole courtyard. 2 grilling pavilions with 4 grills. Also mood lighting in there. So you can adjust the lighting in there. They've got a lot of plugs. Again, somebody was thinking about plugging a blender. You're going to go out there, you want to make margaritas, you need a plug. And a lot of ours don't even have electricity on them. So, it's a good thought process. There's a gas fireplace in that TV lounge area. A giant blue crystal glass fire pit. You go out there, press the button, the fire pit comes on for 20 minutes. Go out there and, you just hang out at that. Let's see here. They also have cabanas, like you have at a resort, that actually have the sides that you can zipper in and close off. So nice professional cabanas, like a luxury resort. Putting green. Anybody like? They've got a putting green. They've got outdoor lounge with cornhole and giant tic-tac-toe. So they have plenty of amenities. And we're probably going to add 2 pickleball courts. Does anybody play pickleball? Yeah. Okay. I never have. They've got a walking path on the inside of the courtyard, so you can do laps. Okay. And they have it. She didn't have the information, but how many laps make a mile in there so that you can go out for exercise and do that part of it. Their gym is 2 stories. Okay, so they've got all the weight equipment downstairs and all the cardio upstairs, including a Peloton. How many properties have you seen with a Peloton? Does anybody know what a Peloton is? Okay, none of you. Peloton, we have one. You get on the bike and they've got live classes you can go ahead and take as you're doing your spin class, and that's upstairs. So the people doing cardio don't have to be with the people that are lifting the weights. So it's all separate. They also have a separate yoga studio in there with 2 giant fans to really cool off the whole room while you're doing yoga. They've got a plug-in place so you can go ahead and plug in, rather than looking at your little phone for your yoga class or anything else, it goes on the big screen. Never thought about this one. They've got they've got like grocery loading and unloading areas where you pull up right next to the elevators. It's got 4 elevators. So you've got a parking place, a temporary parking place for loading and unloading groceries. Okay, That's not something a guy would think about. Parking lot, gated community, access gates, garage. The garages that they have, you pull into the garage, there's a back door that goes right into the common hallway. The hallways go all the way around, all interconnected for the whole community. Okay, so you can actually walk inside too to any one of the 4 elevators, and so the garages have a garage space and then another parking space right in front of it. So if you're leasing a garage, you got 2 spaces that are assigned. Carports, multi-level dog park, game room with TVs, billiard table, and tables and chairs. They do a lot of games. Bingo's really big there for some reason. Business center, and so they've got a business center, printer, but also 2 conference rooms that are separate from the business center that you can use. And they have laptops you can check out. I've never seen that before. You can actually check out their laptops. Pond with a fountain, 10-foot ceilings, 8-foot. They've got cornhole out back also. This is another design feature that, if you remember, because I don't think anybody in here lives in an apartment, if you remember in an apartment in like a bedroom where you've got a closet on one side, you've got the door that comes in, you've got a window on the other side, you've got a place for your bed and 1 dresser. Well, they offset it so that the window on the other wall is offset closer to where the bedside would be, so you have another wall for a desk or something else. Just a little design feature. They've got a giant garden tub in the bathroom. Nice big tub like you would have at your house. Let's see here, what's your full set? Water heaters are in the outside storage. That saves us on insurance, by the way, because if they flood, it goes outside, not inside a unit. That was a nice design feature. The blinds, cordless. These are cool. You know, you just pick them up and slide them down without cords hanging down. Those are expensive, so I'm sure we might have a problem replacing those in the future. Cordless ceiling fan, so it's all built in, so you can adjust everything right there on the wall, rather than a remote that gets lost, or none at all, which most properties have. Master bath, double sinks. Okay, something else men wouldn't think about, but double sinks in the master bedrooms. Extra storage. There's a bunch of other things on here, not as important, but all the little details as you're walking through here, they built it like a home, okay, which is very, very nice. Who has not heard me talk about the Mark before? Okay. This property, again, the developers on this, they build for long term. By the way, I'm going to have to cut off the sound and the cameras here in a few minutes for something that I can't broadcast. They were offered $317,000 per unit last January. They're building other properties. The debt went up. They thought it's better to go ahead and sell off some properties rather than dealing with the debt problem. And they weren't married to their price. They weren't in love with their property. It was a business thing. I will. And so they were offered $317,000 a door, but they put it on the market and they were realistic. We're paying $215,000 a door. Okay? Blood in the water, blood in the streets. Okay? That is a drastic discount. 33% discount in a year because of how the debt market is. Okay? Okay, cut off the sound that's being... Sorry, everybody online. This is the part I can't broadcast or record. Okay. Want taxing authorities to ever hear about it. And it's not something that we're supposed to have at this point in time. Okay, so that's why, but again, we know people. So this is a great deal. The overall return is over 17% average annual return. You know how we underwrite conservatively. And even the 5-year value, that we put on this for the exit is $305,000 a unit. So still even less than it was a year ago. Okay?
It's just for accredited.
It's for accredited only because we're actually advertising it. It's for accredited only. But a great deal, and I'm going to go ahead and tease you on something. We're working with an incredible program that will eliminate our property taxes to zero. Property taxes on this property, I forget how much they were. There were a lot. I don't remember off the top of my head. But eliminate the property taxes. That takes our returns to a projected 23%. Okay? So this is, again, we start off, we analyze it, we get comfortable with where it is, and then we look for other ways to make the deal better. And that's one way that we're exploring. We don't know if we're going to do it or not, but that would be a great thing to add. Any questions on the mark? Let me go through a few of the numbers. This was the projected yields. Year one, just so you know, year one, I add extra cushion to make the returns near zero because I don't want anybody to have any expectations. Hey, you said it was going to be 3%. Well, you know what? First year is the ramp up period. So I want to make sure that if we do have cash flow, we'll send that out. But again, to be conservative, I lowered that amount. Year two, 2.5%. Year three, we'll have a refinance, a planned refinance, which is only 10% cash out refi, but 14%, and then 4%, and then 165. So an average of 17% per year. Okay. Not too bad. Not too bad of a deal for a solid, brand new property right across the street from Weatherford College. Yes, ma'am.
What's your projected interest rate in year three for the refi?
I don't remember.
Good answer.
I don't remember off the top of my head. Like I said, I've been wiped the last 4 days. So, but we do have it in the PPM. We do have. What do you remember? What interest rate we put for the year three refi?
It's 5.65.
You'll look it up and we'll get the answer for you. Here's where I put in, how much we're paying. We actually got $400,000 off of that price. So we got a credit coming back on that. And we're all in at $80 million. Year five value at 107. That's only $302,000 per unit for a property that last year was 317. Of course, those were low cap rates, and we've got to adjust for that. Speaking of interest rates, 5.75. Is that conservative enough?
3 years out.
3 years out, yeah. Well, talking about interest rates, okay. We budgeted 5.75 on the refinance. Our interest rate right now, again, we haven't locked our rate yet, but has been as low as 5.24 right now, which is actually a really good rate. We've been negotiating that, but we haven't locked it yet. And I've got to go ahead and say it again. We try to minimize risk rather than maximize profit. Who was in Brookside? Anybody here? We had a $22 million loan on Brookside. But because we had fixed rate interest, our defeasance was $5 million. Okay? So that was a $5 million prepayment penalty on a $22 million loan. Okay? When we got that loan, it was 4.85%. We're like, below 5%, we're thrilled, we're so excited. This is great, lock that thing in. And then interest rates went down and down and down and down and down. I've been through down cycles. I like fixed rate debt. The risk on that, obviously, was if interest rates go lower, we've got a higher prepayment penalty. But if interest rates go up, the cap rates go up, and we've got an assumable loan, that could mitigate any risk of that value changing. I might have done that backwards. But that fixed rate loan, even though we paid $5 million in prepayment penalty, the value went up a lot higher than that $5 million, so we still had a net. And what was our overall average on that per year? 28%, I think. It's on the wall over here. But we lock in that rate. Now, over the last 10 years, I felt like I looked like a schmuck staying with fixed rate debt. Everybody else switched to the adjustables. Finally, I can say I look good because now that interest rates went up, we didn't get hit with all those rates like everybody else is getting hit with. Okay, so we want to lock in a fixed rate on this as well. However, for an extra, I think it's 20 bips, 0.2% interest, we have a prepayment penalty that is much, much lower. So that if rates go down, it does allow us to refinance without that big defeasance. So again, everything to protect the investment. Okay. So, like I said, the mark is going to be a great investment. We're going to raise $20 million. Our debt is going to be not adjustable. The amount of our debt is going to change. We're looking at agency debt for the first of about $50 million. And the probability of private equity coming in there on top of that to get us to $20 million. Or we do this other strategy that'll bump the returns up to 23 and have a $60 million loan. So it's, we're real excited about that opportunity, and it's just yet another facet that we're looking at to make the deal better for everybody. So, any questions on any of that? Yes, sir?
Expected close date for the mark?
Expected close date for the mark. We're flexible on that one. We've got a lot of time. Right now, I think that April 15th or so? April 24th is the date right now, and we can extend. Oh, I didn't tell you this part. The bonus depreciation, you're familiar with bonus depreciation? Accelerated and bonus depreciation. Last year was the last year for 100%. This year it goes down to 80%, unless they change something. And even on this one, because how it is, we're going to have a huge amount of bonus depreciation on this deal. Okay? So that will be very good. As a matter of fact, I'm actually going to Washington, D.C. with Beth Van Dyne, one of our state reps, and going to go up there at the end of March to meet with them and to make sure that she's on the committee that would help handle the tax issues. And so trying to push on her and everybody else to get that bonus depreciation to stay at 100%. So like I said, I'm even fighting in that direction. Okay, what else? Yes, sir?
Has a cost segregation study already been done on that?
Cost segregation study has not been done on that, no.
Okay.
We're still early in the process on that.
So is it this first year for Mark or
Is this first deal for what?
first year for the Mark, because you are collecting 20 million right now, so is it?
Is this the first deal? This,
They're closing the property right now.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
April 24th.
Okay. So no, the way you said it, it looks like the property is already closed and you are collecting it.
Oh, no, it's not closed yet. We close in April is when we're buying it, so we haven't purchased it yet. We've got it under contract, but we haven't closed on it yet. What else? Okay, good. Well, let me go ahead and give away, for those of you who came in, a signed Emmett Smith helmet. Yay! Everybody knows who Emmett Smith is, right? Does anybody know who Ben Garland is? So we'll go ahead and give that away, and then we've also got some little other things for anybody that wins that. Okay, last three digits, 737. There you go. There you go. Oh yeah, I better check that, huh?
Yeah, you better.
That's 738.
No,
I'm
it's
kidding.
not.
Oh yeah, get a picture for her, yeah. Oh yeah, the top comes off so you can actually touch it. No, the mirror's on that side. You got to.
We're gonna bring you up here.
Where are we going?
Watch it. Watch your step. Watch it.
Help you turn it around.
See, the back side's a mirror,
The backside is a mirror.
so you couldn't see it. There you go.
There we go.
Okay, yes.
Oh, here, I want to get in there. You can wear it. You can wear it.
I'm gonna wear it home.
Is your husband that bad of a driver?
Maybe.
There
There you
you
go.
go. We can see your face. Give us a big smile. Thank you.
All right, and a couple of swag bag things that my wife put together. So, 731. 731, there you go. You're one of those. And 732. They were stuck together. If they're the same family, you don't get it. Yeah, you guys look like brother and sister. There you go for you and for you.
Thank you.
And then one more little one. This is the last one, 706. There you go. This one doesn't have the fancy wrapping on it. And one final thing. I actually wrote a book. Does anybody know that? God's Money Flow. 15 plus years ago, I was teaching kids at church about money, and this whole concept came to me on how that should flow. And if anybody would like a book, it finally came to fruition this year, and this is a preview copy. It's not out yet, and so we're going to be marketing that and selling it on Amazon. So does anybody want a copy? Yeah. Well, shit. You get a book. You get a book. Grab them in the office and hand them out. Who's here? There you go. There you go. There you go. You have to read it though. It's not signed yet. No. If you read it, I'll sign it. And Garrett has a bunch more, so we've got a whole box if you want it. And like I said, it's a fun little thing, an easy read, and I'd appreciate your feedback. So, any other questions?
Quiz on the book next meeting, right?
What's that?
Quiz on the book next meeting.
Quiz on the next one.
Quiz on the book next
Quiz on
We
the
can
book
si-
next meeting.
Next meeting, yes. Yes, you can. I'm sorry. It's hard to hear anyway, and I don't speak Russian. I know Privyet. Oh, Ukrainian? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My mistake. Oh, yeah, you definitely have to make that decision now, don't you? Okay, any other questions? Because if not, we're done. All right, thank you so much for coming. If you have any questions, make sure to talk to our team.